What's up, YouTube? I'm going to show you how to paint your Xbox the right way. First of all, I'm going to tell you what you need to do this project. You need paint, obviously, and if I were you and I wanted to choose my paint, you can pick this up at Walmart. It's Krylon Fusion for plastics. You don't need to prime. It says no prep, but I still like to prep sand, so that's always a good idea. And usually it turns out better when I sand it. So this is good, and it's not too expensive. I think this can was $5. And I also got the Krylon Gloss Clear Coat, which is about another $5. You can get a better clear coat if you want, but I think this will do good enough. And you also need two different types of automotive fine sandpaper. You need the 400 grit wet or dry and the 2000 grit wet or dry. And you'll also need latex, powder-free latex gloves. And I'll explain the reason for that later on in the video. And you need various tools. You need a Torx screwdriver set, probably T8, T10 should be okay. You need some small precision screwdriver, just something small enough to do what I'm going to show you to do later, to press on these tabs. It has to be kind of small, and also a smaller flathead would do pretty good too. And also some cardboard and stuff to paint on. And I think and some masking tape. You're going to need masking tape too. If you, for me, I'm going to mask off certain things. You don't have to, but I'm going to. The first thing you're going to have to do when you go to paint your Xbox, obviously, is to take it apart. The first things you want to take off are the top and bottom grills. And you do that with something small like a precision screwdriver. And inside here, there's little tabs. You can't, my camera's kind of crappy, so you're not going to be able to see them. But there's little tabs you got to press, and there's also a space on the end that you can lift up on. Right there. But I've already got this taken apart a little ways, but basically you press on these tabs and it'll pull out. Like so. And you're probably going to want to paint these too if you don't have to. I'm going to. And you undo the bottom one too, which is pretty much the same. You'll see holes in the plastic, and you'll see plastic holes that are filled in, and right in between that is where the little pegs that you have to push on are. Next, you're going to want to remove the faceplate. If you go down by the on and off button right there and pry on it gently, it should just pull right off. There. And don't forget too, when you paint, to either try and take this plastic thing out, which looks pretty hard to do, or try and mask it somehow, otherwise you'll paint right over it. Then you want to take a flathead, probably a smaller flathead, not as small as the precision screwdriver, but a pretty small flathead, and in the front of your Xbox, see, it's a shitty camera. There are these tabs. You'll see them, one right there. There is one is underneath this warranty sticker, which I already pulled off. This will void your warranty. And there's another one right there. You want to pry those, and it should come apart a little ways. It won't come all the way off, but you want to pry those apart a little ways. Okay, now that you have the tabs opened up, it should look like this. The top should be able to come up a little bit, but not all the way. And don't try and force it, because there's more tabs in the back. You want to be gentle with these too, otherwise you'll just wear these ugly holes in them. But there's like little square slots, one right by the power input, and you'll see the other ones look just like it. And you'll want to push kind of down at an angle like this in there, and then pry up a little bit, but be gentle with this. You don't, like I said, put holes in it. And the one side of the Xbox should come apart. Okay, now that you have the lid off, you're going to need your T10 screwdriver, Torx 10. And there's going to be, I believe, 6 screws holding. They go all the way through the Xbox and into the other plastic side. That's what's holding it on. And they happen to be the ones that are a little bit more silver colored, and if you look close enough, they're flat all the way on the top, and the other ones are rounded on the edges. And there should be at least 2 towards the middle, and the rest are all around the edges. So you want to loosen them up, and the other side should come off. And you'll be able to tell which ones are the ones that you need to do. If you accidentally take out a short screw, put it back in, because they should end up being pretty long. They go all the way through the Xbox, so it should be only long screws you're taking out. If you take out a short one, just put it back. And now that the long screws are out, you're going to have to be a little bit careful with the front side where the disc tray and all that is. You should be able to lift up a little bit on the eject button, and it should slide up past it. It's kind of a pain, just don't force it. If it's not going to work, don't. It should pry out quite a bit. You should be able to pry it out a little bit, and it'll be fine. Just try not to break it, because then I don't know what you're going to do. And there it should be. You should have what you need to have to paint it. Got the whole shell. Now you're going to want to take this shell and wash it with soap and water, warm water and soap, and remove these stickers if you want. Actually, it's a good idea to remove these stickers. Unless you really plan on selling it again, then mask them off. You can mask them too. Wash it with warm water and soap, and then you want to sand it. Lightly sand the entire surface with your 400 grit sandpaper. And you don't have to put a whole lot of effort into it. Don't sand dents into the thing. Don't sand through it. Just a light sanding should be okay, just to prep the surface. And then you want to I'm going to towel dry it. You probably should use lint-free cloth to dry it. Some people just air dry it and wait like 24 hours. Just try and dry it the best you can. That's what I'm going to do. You can wait overnight if you want, but I'm not going to wait overnight to do this. As soon as you're done washing your Xbox, make sure not to touch it with your hands, as your hands have oil in them. So any oil you get on there will mess up your paint job, possibly. I just wouldn't take a chance. I would put on your latex gloves after that. It's good to have multiple pairs of them too. You're going to need multiple pairs of them. Then you want to wet sand the entire thing with 400 grit sandpaper. You don't want to sand too hard. You don't want to take a lot of stuff off. You're just buffing the surface. And also, for those who don't know what wet sanding is, you just get the sandpaper wet and sand with it. Pretty self-explanatory, but you got to keep getting it wet. Don't let it get dry. It'll be better if you don't. And as soon as you're done sanding it, make sure you get all the stuff that you sanded and stuff, wipe it all off and make sure it's all dust free and clean, and keep your gloves on still for the next step.